Okay, today, boys and girls, we're going to continue our number talk before we begin our lesson in measurement. Now, the last lesson we had together, we counted from 1 to 120. I charted the numbers that we were using. Remember, we start again at 1 after the number 100. We start again at 1, but we just put the digit 1 in the hundreds place, 0 in the tens place, and this number is read 101, 102, 103, 104, 105, 106, 107, 108, count with me, 109, 110, 111, 112, 113, 114, 115, 116, 117, 118, 119, 120. We try to not say 120 when we're counting, because that's not the correct way to say the number, and I want you to really be prepared to go into the next grade level knowing how to read and say numbers. Now, yesterday or the day before when we had our previous lesson, we talked about what we noticed. And going down, remember we call those columns. If we go down the columns, we notice that we can add 4 to each number to get the next number. Because we also talked about diagonal, the direction of the diagonal numbers, we can go from 101 to 106 by adding 5 to each number. 106 to 111, you add 5. 111 to 116, we add 5. But when we go in the opposite diagonal direction, we're only adding 3 to each number. 104 plus 3 is 107. 107 plus 3 is 110. 110 plus 3 is 113. Now, if you had any other noticings, I want you to tell your parents so that they can either text me or respond on the class tag app that we're using for communications. I want to know if anybody found another noticing, another pattern. What else did you notice? We also talked about how the numbers just go in order. If you look at the ones place and then the ones and the tens. So for instance, this is really 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. We just have the 1 in front in the hundreds place to show that it's 100 with the other number. So again, if you've made any other noticings, please, please, please let your parents know, and then they can contact me. That way I can know who is still being a good mathematician and seeing patterns. We also talked about the clock. So I want you to look at this clock. Remember, shorthand is the hour hand, longhand is the minute hand, and you make sure it's right on the right time. What time does the clock say? Is it 6 o'clock or is it 7 o'clock? I'm hoping you said 7 o'clock. We're going to be doing more with clocks and telling time for the next couple of weeks. However, I want you to start remembering that this type of clock is called an analog clock. Analog. We also will be talking about digital clocks. All right. You will soon be able to get access to your books for math. It won't be a math magazine like we've used in the classroom. Ms. Sanford has made available the entire second volume for math. So when you get your math book, I want you to, we're going to talk about going back and doing some of these pages. But until then, we're going to continue to do them together here. This one is the first lesson in chapter 8. But I want to show you something a little different. And I wish we had done this when we were in class. Let's look at length. I want you to say that word with me. Length. Length. When we talk about length, we're talking about how long or how short something is.
Explore length. Look closely at these 3 pencil boxes. Notice what is different about them. They are different lengths. Now, look at these 3 objects I have. A crayon, a pencil, and a paper clip. Look closely at all 3 of these objects. What do you notice is different about them? They are different lengths. Now we are going to choose the largest object that will fit in each box. I think the largest object that fits in this box is the paper clip. Let's try it. The paper clip fits in this box, but let's try the other 2 objects to see if they fit too. This crayon doesn't fit. It's too large. This pencil doesn't fit either. It is also too large. So, the paper clip is the largest object that fits in this box. Next, let's find the largest object that fits in this box. Since the crayon almost fit in the smallest box, I think it may fit in this box. Yes, the crayon fits in this box. Let's try the pencil just to make sure. No, the pencil is too large. So, the crayon is the largest object that will fit in this box. Well, I guess that means the pencil is the largest object to fit in this box. Yes, it fits.
Okay, so we're talking again about length. Length. Let's go back and take a look at that first lesson. Now again, when you get your book, you're going to be able to do this in the book. But let's just look at this lesson. Okay, we saw this page. Now, it says you can compare the lengths of objects. The paintbrush is longer than the pencil. The pencil is longer than the tube of paint. Is the tube of paint longer or shorter than the paintbrush? So here's the tube of paint. Here's the paintbrush. Is the tube of paint longer or shorter than the paintbrush? Well, we can clearly see that they indicated what the answer is. But boys and girls, do you see that this yellow tube of paint is shorter? We say shorter when we compare 2 things together. If we were comparing all of them, we can say the tube of paint is the shortest of all 3. So, when we're talking about 2 items or 2 objects, and it's talking about length, if it's 2 things, then we say it's shorter. If it's more than 2, we say that it is the shortest. Do you notice the ending part changes? It goes from short, shorter, to shortest. So I can say that the tube of paint is short. I can also say the tube of paint is shorter than the pencil, or I can say the tube of paint is the shortest. It also works for long, longer, and longest. Long, longer, longest. Longer when we're talking about two items. If we're comparing more than two, then we say longest. And again, notice the endings. ER, EST. Now, let's take a look. Compare the objects, circle the correct answer. The pair of glasses is shorter than the marker. The marker is shorter than the picture. So the pair of glasses is shorter than the marker. The marker is shorter than the picture. Now here's our question. Is the picture longer than or shorter than the pair of glasses? Is the picture longer than or shorter than the pair of glasses? We're comparing the picture and the pair of glasses. The picture is longer than. So we would circle longer. And here, let's see, up here is my pen. Longer than. Okay, let's go on my own. You're going to be able to do this when you get your book. On my own, we are again comparing the objects. Circle the correct answer. The crayon is longer than the paper clip. Crayon, paper clip. Yes, I agree. The scissors are longer than the crayon. The scissors are longer than the crayon. Okay, I see that. Is the paper clip longer or shorter than the scissors? Paper clip, scissors. The paper clip is, yeah, I think you said it, shorter than. Let's circle it. Okay, the eraser is shorter than the glue stick. Okay, eraser, glue stick. Yeah, the eraser is shorter. The glue stick is shorter than the pencil. Okay, glue stick, pencil, yeah. And I can also say the eraser is the shortest of all three. But my question is the pencil longer than or shorter than the eraser? Pencil, eraser. Pencil, eraser. The pencil is longer than the eraser. Okay. Let's continue. All right. The chalk is shorter than the pen. The paper clip is shorter than the chalk. Is the pen longer than or shorter than the paper clip? Now, boys and girls, remember, on our problem solving, we can still do our strategies. We underline what we know and circle what we need to find out. So, we know this. And we know this, the paper clip is shorter than the chalk. This is what we need to find out. So we'll do it like this. And we're going to circle our answer as well. Okay, is the pen longer than or shorter than the paper clip? So go back in the story, reread. Remember, that's a strategy. Read it again. The chalk is shorter than the pen. And I'm going to make a little picture. Okay, this is going to be my chalk. I'm going to put a C on it. And it says the chalk is shorter than the pen. I'm going to make another line. This is called making a model. And I'll make that the pen. So the chalk is shorter than the pen. The paper clip is shorter than the chalk. Okay. So if this is my chalk, then I'll make the paper clip. And I'll say that's a P, C. Okay. So the paper clip is shorter than the chalk. Sorry I didn't put it all the way over, but I think you can see here that this is smaller. Is the pen, now the question, is the pen longer or shorter than the paper clip? Well, I made this line for my pen. Is this pen line longer or shorter than the paper clip? Well, we can see that it's longer, so that's what I'm going to circle. Remember, boys and girls, making a model, a picture, will help you to problem solve. And the picture can just be simple lines. Let's try number 5. The table is longer than the book. Well, that makes sense because we put books on the table. So, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to, and let's do it over here. No, not enough room. Okay, so the table is longer than the book. I'll make this the book. B. The book is longer than the eraser. Okay. I'll make the eraser. Oh, I forgot to read through it and underline. So let's go back. It's never too late to do our strategies. The table is longer than the book. The book is longer than the eraser. Question. Is the... Ooh, bad circling. Is the eraser longer or shorter than the table? Well, I've already done my pictures. Here's my eraser. Here's my book. Here's my table. Is the eraser longer than or shorter than the table? Eraser, table. The eraser is shorter. It's smaller. Okay. I'm going to give you an opportunity to do the right math. And this is where I'm going to ask you to involve your parents and ask them to take a picture and send it to me. Right math. A marker is longer than a glue stick. A glue stick is longer than a paper clip. Is the paper clip longer than or shorter than the marker? Explain. So you have 2 things to do. You have to tell whether or not the paper clip is longer than or shorter than the marker, and then explain how you know. Explain it. You can say something like, well, I drew the picture and the picture shows that it's longer or shorter. Or you could say, I know that this is correct because, and explain it that way. And yes, since our books will be made available, I will need you to do the homework page. And when we come back, the expectation is that you will have some work to turn in to me. So don't tear it out. You're going to bring all of the pages back in the books so that they can be reviewed and corrected. All right? Now, I need you again to remember that you can review our chart, and you can stop this on the YouTube video and see if you can find another pattern. And if you do, you can send me the information through ClassTag, or you can just take a picture of you explaining your pattern. I should say a video of you and send it to me, or you can write down what you noticed and have your parents take a picture of that and send it to me. And also, when you get your book, I want you to go back into chapter 8 and do lesson 1. Okay? So, we were working on chapter 8, lesson 1. And it won't let me go back, so we'll do this. So chapter 8 is measurement. And we were really working well. We were getting through our book, and this is going to be an easier activity chapter because it's talking about measurement. Boys and girls, I'm hoping that you are able to go online. I want you to go into ABC and find the length activity. I'm going to post that in ClassTag because that will reinforce what we're working on right now. So for the next couple of days during your time on the computer, I'm going to list in ClassTag what you can review so that you can get additional practice with this skill, telling time and measuring. I did have this that I wanted you to take a look at. Let's see if I can get it on there right. Okay. I have a butter knife. We use these at my house to kind of close up chip bags or bags that have been opened. And then, so we just call this a clip, and a spoon. Now, talking about length, I can say that the spoon is shorter than the butter knife. I can also say the butter knife is longer than the spoon. Notice shorter and longer have the ER spellings, that ER sound, the sound from the bird card. When I compare two things, I either say they are longer or they are shorter. But when I compare more than two things, once again, I put that EST at the end of the word. And I can say the clip is the longest of all three. The clip is the longest of all three because it's longer than the butter knife and it's also longer than the spoon. Now, I could also say that the spoon is the shortest of all three. Again, EST on the word short, shortest. The spoon is the shortest of all three. So that's another way to compare. See if you can make a comparison from items at your house. And again, you can respond and give me feedback. That means show me what you're comparing, either on your phone by sending a picture or a video, or you can have your parents help you type the information into our ClassTag app. All right. Now, I think that will be all that we're going to do in our lesson on today on measurement. Take care, and I'll see you in our next lesson. Goodbye.